Hey everybody, Bobby here, and I just got done watching Avengers Endgame. Alright, so I'm going to try and quickly go through how I feel about this movie, and then we'll quickly skim through certain spoiler plot stuff later on. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you can stay for now. I'll let you know when we go over spoiler corner. So, alright. What can I say about this movie? Probably the most anticipated Marvel movie since Infinity War, which it earned that. Infinity War, the way it ended with all the main heroes, at least from I want to say phase 2 to 3, died. You had like Nick Fury and Maria Hill turn to dust, but you had characters like Spider-Man and Star-Lord and Doctor Strange and Falcon. Characters like that just dying in front of all these kids, that probably scarred them for life, man. But this movie, like I said, I think they did a great job marketing this movie, because you go into the movie, or at least you go in the trailer, it shows little parts of the film. Well, it puts all out of context, and it works, because you go in this movie, you don't expect anything. Okay, there's some things you can expect, but there's a lot of things you probably expect just probably in this movie. Even the director said most of the people's theories were pretty close. And we'll get into that in spoilers, but I'll say the trailers did a good job of hiding the plot of the movie. So when you go into this movie, when you get into it, at least the first few minutes of it, I don't know how long that first little part is. Once after that, it turns into a movie that you didn't expect it to turn into. Maybe you did. Maybe you did. I don't know. But I certainly expected some of these plot points, but yeah, I liked how they marketed the movie. Especially people who don't really look at the internet and look at, theories and what people think and look at leaks. They're going to go in there and gonna expect, wow, that wasn't in the trailer. Most of the parts of the movie, they didn't even speculate in the trailer. So that's really cool. This movie was great. I highly enjoyed this movie. I think it's probably the best superhero movie I've ever seen. I mean, it was just great. There's really not much I can talk about that's not really spoiler wise, but I thought it was really great. There is something I think they could have done a little bit better with. There's only one aspect I really had a problem. It's not really a problem, but I would have liked them to show how the world, not just the superheroes, they show a few people, a couple, but they don't really delve into it. The fact of the snap, half of all life has been wiped out. They don't really show the average person be affected by that. There's some that they show, but it's mostly just the superhero characters that are affected by it. I would have liked maybe the average person to see how it's affected by them. Just a little bit more. And they kind of show it a little bit, but, it could have been explored just a little bit more. I'll talk about a couple of... There's only maybe like 2 other issues. Maybe just one issue I have. But that's spoiler-wise, so we'll get into that in spoiler parts of the video. But, and I think with that plot line, all I wish was that they explained it better. So, the action... When the movie wanted you to feel sad, you felt really sad. When the movie wanted you to be pumped and excited, I myself was sitting at the edge of my seat biting my fingernails because I didn't know what was coming. There was one thing, there was two things I knew that were coming. Maybe three. Yeah, three things. Three big plot points that got spoiled to me. I was not happy that this got spoiled to me. I was very pissed off that that happened. And I went in the movie expecting, okay, maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe that was just fake, but it wasn't. And it didn't real, but I don't, it would have affected me if I didn't see it coming a lot more. But at the same time, when it did happen, it hit me like a ton of bricks still. So, this movie still does a good job with that. And the action, although not always there, it's more of an emotional movie than you would think. For a superhero Avengers movie, it has a lot of character development in the very beginning. There's a lot of action, and when it's there, it's really good. But it's very character driven, and I appreciate that. I really like that they did that. Overall, the characters and from their point A in this movie to their point B was great. I think their journey throughout the entire movie was pretty good, and where they end up, you know, it was earned, it was deserved, it was a good movie. I think they did great. You know, the actors, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, as always, they were excellent. You know, Thor was great. There's something going on with Thor I thought was funny for a few minutes, and then I thought, wow, he's gonna say this way the whole movie, isn't he? And he does, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of weird, but you know, at the same time, it's understandable and it's still cool in the end. So, and where Thor ends up at the end of it all, I think is really cool. So, I'm excited for Thor's character after this movie. This movie opens up a few new plot points or new plot elements that I'm excited to see what's going to happen after this movie series. Like Spider-Man Far From Home. After seeing how this movie ends, I cannot wait to see Spider-Man Far From Home now, because this is going to be I won't say it's going to be a brand new world, but it's going to be, well, I'll say that endgame is going to definitely affect Spider-Man Far From Home, as a lot of people would probably expect. So, yeah, I am going to give Avengers Endgame 10 out of 10. Because I cannot keep talking about this movie without spoiling it. I've almost spoiled a little bit of the movie already. So I'll be back. We're gonna go into spoilers. So if you don't want to stick around for the spoilers, you want to go see the movie, and then come back. And all right, see you guys. Alright, so here we are in spoilers. This is spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled for Endgame, do not watch this part of the review. Please click it off, go see the movie. I've already said it. Final warning. Alright. And, you know, they kill Thanos. Like, pretty much after Tony Stark comes back home. Thanos pretty much made it to where they can't bring back everybody, because he snapped his fingers again and wiped all the gems from existence. Obviously, this pisses off the heroes, and Thor cuts his arm off, or at least his hand that has the Infinity Gauntlet, and cuts his head off. He actually goes for the head this time. That's cool. And then a 5-year jump. It's been 5 years. This is what got me. I didn't think they were going to do that. 5 years has passed since Infinity War. That blew my mind. I'm like, wow, they really went with that. Okay. So, we'll get into the Spider-Man part in a minute, or later on, but this whole 5-year gap, is a big deal. So, what next? So the heroes have kind of accept. They not really accepted it, but they pretty much accepted the fact that the world's gonna stay this way. There's no coming back from it. Natasha, Black Widow is pretty much the new leader of the Avengers, with Rocket and Nebula doing their thing, Captain Marvel doing her thing in one part of the universe, Rhodey's doing his own thing for the Avengers. Tony is retired. He's got a daughter named Morgan, and he's married to Pepper. That's a really interesting plot point. Cap, I guess, still part of the Avengers. He's part of a support group. That's why I was explaining they don't dwell too much into the snap on regular people. That's the one scene that I saw that they really get into it a little bit. Doesn't really get into it that much, but Cap's part of a support group that does that. And that's cool to see Cap doing that. Throughout the whole movie, Cap's kind of going through an arc. He's been going through an arc for a while, and this is kind of, gonna end his arc somewhat. If you've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, at the end, Scott gets trapped in the quantum realm. Well, a rat pushes the button in his truck. That was awesome at the end. Of the movie. He escapes. He finds out his daughter's 5 years older. She's actually a teenager, I think, or at least a preteen. I think she's a teenager. So that means she could be. She's a superhero in the comics, like stature, I think. So that can set up the Young Avengers movie. If they ever want to do that, that'd be cool. It's the time travel. Okay. They're going to use the quantum realm like everybody expects the quantum realm to be involved in this. Time travel to be involved in this movie. So, this wasn't really highly, secretive because of the stupid leak photos that came out of the set photos. People, and, I think some interviews came up with Tom Holland talking about the quantum realm, I think. So, yeah. But, they get into, they're going to use the quantum realm. That's time travel. They try to get Tony Stark involved. He wants nothing to do with it. So they go to Bruce Banner, who is the Hulk. To be more specific, he's Doc Green. If you don't know who Doc Green is, in the comics, Doc Green is basically Bruce Banner in the Hulk body. Well, how do you do that, Bruce? How are you the Hulk now? Because Infinity War, Hulk didn't want to come out, and yet it's an interesting arc you were going through. Don explained. I stopped treating Hulk like a disease and started treating him like something I can't remember. I was really disappointed with the Hulk in this movie. I thought he was funny. I thought the Hulk was pretty cool in this movie. I thought he was funny, but... Oh, no, man. No. This is not what they were leading up to in Infinity War. Hulk not wanting to come out because Thanos beat him. That's just not what I was expecting them to be. I thought near the end it could have come to that kind of outcome where Doc Green could come out, but they didn't show that lead up. And that's like a disappointment I had with the movie about the Hulk, man. I was so excited to see how his character was going to turn up, and it's just, that doesn't really pay off for me at least. So, yeah, that kind of sucked. Getting into, other characters, they get Hulk involved, and, Iron Man figures a way that, yeah, you can do it. So he's going to help them. They got to get Thor. So they decide, okay, they're going to get the heroes to come back. Also, there's a funny scene with Scott where they're changing from an old man to a baby. It's funny. We'll get into Hawkeye in a second because he starts the movie. But we'll get into his character in a second. Thor. Rocket and Hulk go to get Thor, and This scene was funny for a few minutes, and I expected they were going to change it. That is Fat Thor. Thor got fat. He got a big belly. Okay, he is big. He is really fat. He's got his long hair and big beard back. Well, I won't say big beard. He's got his long hair back from the older movies. He's got a big bushy beard, and he's really fat. Like, fat. And I'm like, wow, they even make a Big Lebowski reference in this movie, or a joke. And it's just, wow. Okay, I want this amusing, but, okay, you can go back to, normal Thor now, right? No? You're just staying fat the whole movie? Okay. Well, alright then. At least they don't focus on that too much. But, yeah, it's not that it overstays its welcome. It's just not really how I saw. And you understand. Because Thor has an arc. He feels like he failed. That's why he's pretty much given up. He's even got Asgard on Earth, which is just a Norway fishing town, which is really interesting. New Asgard. And even we see Valkyrie and Korg and Meek, and they're still alive, and they're the other Asgardians. That's cool to see. But yeah, they get Thor back, and he's got his Stormbreaker axe and everything. So they get all the characters that they have left to time travel to certain points in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, and Ant-Man go back to Avengers 1, where they can get the Tesseract, they can get Loki's scepter, and they can get the Eye of Agamotto. They get the spear, they get the Eye of Agamotto, Hulk gets that, Cap gets the spear, and a really cool scene where he does like the Winter Soldier scene where he's in the elevator, he's about to fight them, but instead he does the little nod from Secret Empire. If you didn't see Secret Empire, it's when Captain America becomes, or he gets brainwashed to become part of Hydra or something. I don't know. I didn't read the book. All I know is that he says Hell Hydra, and that's like a big thing in it at the beginning of the storyline. But it's just he does that. He whispers in one of his Hell Hydra, and he walks out of the elevator smiling with the scepter. That was really cool to see. I didn't really expect that, but that was really cool. And then he gets in a fight with his Captain America, his Avengers 1 version of Cap. That's really cool to see. We get a little bit of extra scenes from Avengers 1. That was really cool. I didn't expect that at all, and that was really nice to see. And, Hulk talks to, the Ancient One from Doctor Strange 1. And that was cool to see. And he gets the Time Stone from her. They try and get the Tesseract. They failed. Loki grabs it, which I think that might lead up into Loki coming back. Maybe that's how Loki comes back. A alternate timeline version of Loki is going to be running around now. Maybe that's the Loki we're going to get in the TV show. I don't know. We'll see. And so Cap and Tony go back to the 70s to get the Tesseract and the Pym particles that they need, because they have to have Pym particles to shrink down the quantum realm and shrink back to normal size to a new timeline, whatever. So they get all that. They do that, and they have like scenes like Cap seeing Peggy for the first time in years. That's not old Peggy, it's the Peggy he knew, the Peggy Carter. Tony gets to talk to his dad. It gets talked about him being a father and all. That was really cool to see. Even a little hint at, Jarvis. The real Jarvis from the comics, because he's a butler. He's not just an AI. That was cool to see. What else? Black Widow and Hawkeye. Hawkeye's family at the beginning dies, turns to dust. He becomes Ronin. Kind of a Daredevil type character where he's fighting the Yakuza in Japan. That was a really Netflix type scene. Oh my gosh. That beginning scene was so awesome with Hawkeye. With the swords and all. It was really cool. It was a really good action scene. I really wish that the TV show was going to be something like that. Because that was really Netflix-like. If you watch Daredevil or The Punisher or Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, The Defenders, it was a lot like that. And it was really cool to see that kind of stuff in the Avengers movies. They go to get the Soul Stone. And if you know the Soul Stone, you know Gamora had to die to get it. So, that's the first thing that got spoiled to me. The death of one of the deaths of the major characters. That being Black Widow. They fight to see who's going to die. They don't really have a big reaction to Red Skull as I thought they would. Which kind of sucked. But, that could have been cool to see. Oh, it's the Red Skull. No. But yeah, they fight, and yeah, Natasha jumps off and dies. So Clint can get the Soul Stone. While that's going on, that's four of the stones. Thor and Rocket go to Asgard during Thor 2, The Dark World, to get the red one, I don't remember the name, out of Natalie Portman's character. Yeah. Thor has a really cool interaction with his mother, which I thought was alright. He gets Mjolnir back. So he has Mjolnir and he has Stormbreaker. That was awesome. Him fighting Thanos at the end of the movie with both hammer and the axe hammer was really cool. Like, that's how they get Mjolnir back. That was cool. He's like, hold on, before we go, he's like, it takes a second. Alright, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready. That was cool. A Rocket gets the stone from Natalie Portman's character. I don't know how he gets it from her. I think he stabs her with like a syringe thing and injects it out of her. Whatever. That's the fifth stone. Yeah. So the last stone is the one Star-Lord has to steal from, what's that place called? I don't remember. In the beginning of Guardians, where Star-Lord, and he's dancing. Nebula and War Machine go there, bonk him in the head and get the stone. Nebula gets stuck in the timeline because when they try to teleport back to the timeline, she gets stuck because she's on the same wavelength as the Nebula in that timeline, which is how we have Thanos come back. This is Thanos during Guardians 1. So he hasn't gotten any of the gems yet. So yeah, that version of Thanos is the one that they have to fight at the end. So they get all the stones. Iron Man makes a Iron Man type Infinity Gauntlet for this hand. But no, they have the new gauntlet. And Hulk, that's the second thing that spoiled to me. Hulk uses it to snap. He can't bring Black Widow back, but we see the hint that, hey, Hawkeye's family came back. And then, Thanos comes. He comes from the time portal and blows up Avengers headquarters. Oh boy, does he blow up Avengers headquarters. Hawkeye gets trapped in the rubble and he's getting chased by I think the Chitauri or the weird aliens in Infinity War. And he's gotta protect the Infinity Gauntlet. Hulk, Ant-Man, Rocket, and War Machine get trapped in the rubble. And Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man have to fight Thanos. And they're just standing there like, what's he doing? He's just sitting there. like the calm before the storm, the inevitable battle begins, and it was really cool seeing, you know, these three major characters in the MCU fighting Thanos. It was really cool seeing them team up again like this, because we really hadn't seen a fight like that before with those three characters, and it was really cool to see. Eventually, eventually they get their asses kicked by Thanos for some reason, I guess. But they get whooped. Cap gets his shield broken, which is weird. Well, it's not weird. It happens in the comics, but it's like, oh my god, I was so scared. I was like, they're gonna kill Cap. I was biting my nails like, no, don't do it. Because you broke his shield. It does kind of symbolize he's going to die. He doesn't die. Okay, I will just say he doesn't die. Okay, just because I'm wearing this bloody Captain America looking shirt doesn't mean he's going to die. Thor's getting ready to get the axe hammer into his chest by Thanos. And Captain America picks up Mjolnir. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in the movie series. Cap picks up Mjolnir and Thor's like, I knew it! I knew it! You could do it! And they just fight, and Cap instantly knows how to use Mjolnir. It's insane. He used Mjolnir and uses it with his shield. It's really cool. I loved that fight scene. And with Thor and Iron Man taken down, unconsciously, of course. They've been beaten down. It's just Cap. The other heroes are busy. Cap's prepared to die. He's prepared to fight off Thanos and all of his army, including the Black Order and the aliens and the flying space lizards from Avengers 1. He was prepared to fight them. And Falcon's on his radio goes, hey Cap, on your left. And all the Avengers that got disintegrated come back. The Guardians, Spider-Man, all these characters come back. And it was just so awesome. I was like standing up, and I'm like, oh, Thanos, you're screwed now, man. And I was so happy. Okay, I didn't talk about this. Not Gamora. Nebula, she gets traded places with her past self, which infiltrates Avengers headquarters, so she can bring Thanos into the past. And then the past Gamora is there, and she helps the future Nebula. It's confusing. We'll be right back. So yeah, it was like, yeah, and then Hawkeye gets, he gets to see Nebula, and it's past Nebula, so she's the bad Nebula. She attacks him. Future Nebula kills past Nebula, which this is where the time travel thing gets me. Okay, so I guess whatever happened when Thanos left the past, that was just an alternate timeline that was created then, I guess. When he left, it didn't change the past, it just created an alternate timeline. Okay, so there's an alternate timeline without Thanos. That's cool. That's why they have to bring the Infinity Stones back to the times they took it, because they explain they have to. So, near the end, they take care of that. But, Nebula past dies, so I guess that's why Nebula the future doesn't die. So, alright. I guess that's another reason why future Gamora doesn't come back to life. Because that never got changed. That still happened, I guess. I guess, I don't know. So, but past Gamora stays behind. She stays in this timeline, the future timeline. So when Guardians 3 comes out, that's the Gamora you're going to have. You're not going to have the Gamora from Guardians 1 and 2. and onward, you're going to have Gamora before Guardians 1, which is a new Gamora. So that gets me into the final battle. This was pretty insane with, all of Wakanda and seeing Black Panther and all those characters, seeing the Guardians with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and all the monks from the Doctor Strange series comes in. All of Wakanda comes in with Valkyrie and Meek and Korg. That was cool. So all these characters brought together, and then Ant-Man turns into Giant Man and rescuing Hulk, Rocket, and War Machine. So everybody's there to fight. Thor and Iron Man come back. And then Captain America with Thor's hammer and his broken shield's like, Avengers! Assemble. And Doctor Strange is like, is that everybody? And then, Wong's like kind of like how everybody was wanting the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and Deadpool in this movie. He's like, who else did you want? Like a little nod to that. That was funny. And they just have a big fight, like Giant Man punching the giant reptile thing, flying reptile. Oh, and Wasp is there too. I forgot to mention that. That's cool. You see Spider-Man and Iron Man, reunite, and that was really cool to see. And Spider-Man's trying to explain, like, it's been 5 years. Doctor Strange told us it's time. It's been 5 years. We gotta do something. And Iron Man's like, shut up for 1 second. And he just, he doesn't say that, but he has to hug him. That was really cool. But yeah, we see all these characters coming together, and they have like a, keep away with the Infinity Gauntlet. I think Cap starts it. Does he? Does Cap start it? I don't think he does. But I know someone starts that with the Hawkeye starts it. He has the gauntlet, and it goes to Black Panther, and it goes to Spider-Man. And then Captain Marvel comes in, blows up Thanos' spaceship, and she's like, hi, Peter Parker. And I think you have something for me. And that's the coolest thing I've seen Captain Marvel do. She doesn't have much of a character, but at least that one scene, she does. And even then, most of the female characters are standing over Peter Parker. I guess it looks like all the main female characters we have left, like Rescue. Rescue. Pepper Potts, she's in it. She's got the rescue armor, and that's cool seeing her and Tony fighting together. We see most of the female characters coming together with Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel blows through Thanos. Doesn't blow through him, and she fights Thanos pretty cool, pretty good. She has the gauntlet, and Thanos gets the gauntlet, and Iron Man and him fight. Before we get into this moment, I want to talk about one last funny thing that happens with Thor and Cap, and that's Cap has Stormbreaker and Thor has Mjolnir, and Thor's like, give me that back. You get the small one. It's funny. They had little funny moments in there. It was really cool. And, and all these characters, it was probably the coolest fight I've ever seen in a Marvel movie. It was better than Infinity War's fight. It's better than Civil War's fight, and that's saying something. This was cool. So we get to the third thing that got spoiled to me, but it was the one big thing that I actually really cried at, and that was Thanos is about to snap again. He's got the gauntlet with the stones, as we think he does at least. And this time he's going to wipe out pretty much the entire universe and create a new universe with half of life without knowing the other existed, because there wouldn't be an existence. So he just started a new universe with a smaller map of living beings. So that's definitely pretty evil. But instead, Tony, Iron Man, takes the stones and puts it in his Iron Man suit, or at least his Iron Man hand. Says, "For the last time, I am Iron Man." Snaps his fingers, and everybody associated with Thanos, not including, Gamora and Nebula, just, Corvus Glade and all the Black Order and all the aliens that Thanos has, and Thanos turn to dust. And seeing Thanos in, despair, seeing him, he was defeated, and he just sits there and accepts it, and he just turns to dust. I was so happy to see him lose. But at what cost? We do see Iron Man die. Tony Stark lays there. Half his body's been burnt pretty badly, just like Hulk. Peter's there. He's like, "We did it, Mr. Stark. We did it." Rhodey's there. Pepper's there. And she relieves him. She's like, "It's okay. You can rest now." It was just so sad. And his arc reactor turns off. It was so emotional. I cried. I really cried. So yeah, we lost Tony. Iron Man died. That was probably the best part of the movie to me. And the saddest. I was happy that Black Widow died, but Iron Man started the cinematic universe, so I guess it was fitting that he died so the cinematic universe could continue forward. And it's fitting, including with the after credits sound bit. It's not an after credits scene, there's an after credits sound bit of Iron Man 1 with him hitting his armor. And to me, that signifies his sacrifice, continuously bringing life to the cinematic universe after he's gone because of his sacrifice. That's what that means to me, at least. But they have a funeral for Iron Man, and we see everybody. Spider-Man and Aunt May are there. The Avengers, at least the main Avengers are there. And we see, the Guardians are there. No Gamora, surprisingly enough. That was weird. I guess she ran off somewhere. We see, the Ant-Man character. I think Ant-Man, Wasp, and Hank Pym are there. We see Hank Pym later on in the movie, like earlier in the movie. They're in the 70s, and he's got like a classic-looking Ant-Man helmet, which is cool looking. He's got like these hippie hair, which we see the last cameo of Stan Lee in that, where he says, "Make love, not war," something like that. He looked pretty youngish, I think, but yeah. That wouldn't have been the last cameo I would have went with, but they didn't know he was going to die after the movie, before the movie was going to be done, so it didn't matter. But back to the funeral, we see Nick Fury and Captain Marvel are there. We see Harley, the character from Iron Man 3 is there. We see a specific blonde-haired kid there that we don't know who that is. A lot of people are speculating. We'll get into that in a second. But a lot of people are speculating he's related to a certain super soldier. We'll get into that in a second. We have all these characters that were in the big fight. The main characters at the funeral. And they have like a wreath or flowers, floating in the lake where they live. Where Tony and Pepper and his daughter Morgan lived. And it has the thing from Iron Man 2, I think, or was it Iron Man 1? It's one of them. I think it was Iron Man 1, where she made this thing where his old arc reactor, it said, proof that Tony Stark has a heart. And they just floated across the lake, and it was really sad. But yeah. Tony dying was really, really... Yeah, it was pretty sad. Then we get another heart-wrenching scene with Cap. Cap is tasked with taking the Infinity Stones back to their respective time period. And, Winter Soldier, Falcon, and Hulk are the ones that send him off to his journey. He's also got to return Mjolnir back to Asgard. So he does all that. And when they try to bring him back, he doesn't. There is no Cap. Cap doesn't come back. And it was like... Because at first I was like, maybe this is how we get rid of Cap, but also keep him. Maybe he doesn't die, so maybe, that's where he's going to be. They're going to send him off to the quantum realm, and that's where he's going to be for a while. He's going to be busy returning all the time stones. So that's what he's going to be doing. That's why we're not going to have Cap for a while. Maybe that's going to give them enough time to where Chris Evans could do what he wants to do, and then maybe he can come back later on as Cap. But then he doesn't come back. That's because he stayed behind so he could be with Peggy Carter. And Falcon points to Sam that there's someone standing there on a log. Sam goes up to this old man who turns out to be Steve Rogers. Cap's pretty old. He's got the old shield there from an alternate timeline, I guess. And he says, hey, I got the shield for you. You're going to be Captain America now. Where he's like, I don't want to live in a world without Captain America. And Steve Rogers is like, they don't have to. Essentially, Falcon, Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie's character, is going to be Captain America. And I am alright with this. They did this in the comics, so I was like, yeah, it works, He's got a connection with Steve Rogers. I think I like it a lot better than making Winter Soldier Captain America. I think Sam Wilson's earned it, so I think that's cool. That is going to be really cool seeing that Disney Plus show with Falcon and Winter Soldier. And Falcon's got to learn how to be Captain America, so that's going to be cool to see. I really didn't like his costume in the comics. Not that I want him to wear the same costume that Chris Evans wears as Captain America, but I don't want to see him wear this stupid white-looking costume with the white and the blue, like all that white in there with just the goggles. That's not Captain America to me. He can keep the wings as part of Falcon's personality. But, no. I don't want to see the same suit. I hope they change it. But, that's how the movie ends is, Cap and Peggy dancing. And they kiss, and that's it. Besides that credit scene, that's pretty much Avengers Endgame in a nutshell. Other than Thor goes and is going to be part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Didn't mention that. Thor leaves Asgard to Valkyrie so that he can be part of the Guardians of the Galaxy team. And their next mission is going to look for Gamora. So I cannot wait to see what they're going to do for Guardians 3. And I think it's going to be even more awesome with Thor being in that movie. So I can't wait. We got Groot back and Star-Lord and Nebula. Yeah, she's still there. We have, Mantis. Drax is still there, but I thought he got I thought Dave Bautista got fired from Marvel, or he quit. So how that's going to work, I have no idea, if he even did or not. But I'm excited to see how the future of the MCU is going to play out. So that comes back to, Spider-Man Far From Home. We had to live in a world without Iron Man and Captain America. And I'm interested to see how that works. Alright, well, that's pretty much it. I really highly enjoyed this movie. I recommend this movie. This is the best MCU movie they ever made. This is, without a doubt, one of the best superhero movies ever made. And I am glad that I got to experience this journey. But I'm excited for them to bring in Deadpool and Wolverine and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see who the new big bad person is going to be. That's going to be big and badder than Thanos. I don't think that's going to work out too well. Doctor Doom's pretty cool, but unless they're doing like God King Doom, I don't think they're going to be in the same scale as Thanos. What's that? Galactus wants to eat the Earth? And that's just that doesn't sound like it's gonna be as big a deal as wiping all half a life in the universe and whatever. But yeah, I like this movie, and I hope that you enjoyed it too. I think this movie is doing pretty good in the box office. I'm pretty sure it's made box office history. But yeah, that was Endgame. Final thoughts. I wish I wasn't spoiled by those 3 plot points I talked about. So I think it would have been a lot better if I didn't know that. I didn't actually go and look for these spoilers. They got spoiled to me by a friend. So it was really... That really upset me that I got spoiled that. But, it doesn't matter. I still got affected by those scenes regardless. But yeah, it was good. Great. Alright. That's about it for me. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bobby, out.